Today we continue on in my TCU Dynasty here on College Football 26, and we have gotten off to a 3-0 start to start Season 2, and our first opponent of this episode is the Kansas State Wildcats, who are coming into this game at 0-3. And it looks like we get the ball to start things from our own 25-yard line. We'll start with a handoff to Jeremy Payne that is going nowhere. On the next play, we come out in a shotgun set, and it will be an RPO to the outside that's going to be caught by Coleman, who's having a great season so far, and he starts today with a 6-yard play. That brings up a 3rd and 4 as we look to keep this drive alive. We'll throw it underneath. That's caught by Everhart, who cuts up field and gets the first down. Now all the way up to the 40-yard line. We'll take the snap. It'll be a screen pass to the outside, caught by Payne, who will cut to the outside and pick up another first down. We now come out with a 5-wide set. We'll take the snap and look to pass. We're going to throw this one downfield, and it's going to fall incomplete. I held on to that way too long. Let's go ahead and try this counter play with Jeremy Payne, see if the blocking wants to set up. We'll get to the outside. The blocking set up nicely. We'll cut back in and get met and brought down to the 25. Following that play, it looks like Pendergrass will check into the game as we run a play action. Roll to the outside, trying to escape the pressure. We'll just throw this one away. Now a 2nd and 10 out of shotgun. We're going to fire over the middle, and that should have been intercepted. I did not expect him to come down and cover that. Tried to force it to the tight end. Obviously, it did not work. Now on a 3rd and 10 from the 24. Hoover will drop back, and we're going to try to throw this one in the last second, but it's going to fall incomplete, which means we will settle for a field goal try here with our freshman kicker, Jamie Battle. He's off to a really good start to the year. I don't believe we've missed yet. We'll see if this is our first miss, and it will not be. We get to come back on the field. It's still a 3-0 ball game, so the defense would force a punt. It's a handoff to Jeremy Payne, and we'll pick up 5. That'll come out with a 5-wide set, and we're going to try to get rid of this one, but hit immediately pretty much. We got to have at least a little bit of time to try to throw the ball. Now on 3rd down, we're going to fire this one to Coleman, who will make the catch and get the first down for us. On the following play, Dawson Pendergrass would check into the game and pick up a 4-yard run. So now it's a 2nd and 6, and we're going to come with a screen to the outside that's caught by Jeremy Payne. And he's going to get close to the marker, try to fight for it, but it's a 3rd and 1 coming up. And Payne will stay in the game for this play. We take the snap. It's an RPO as Coleman is wide open, picks up a couple blocks, and goes out of bounds at the 26. The next play would be a 1-yard run from Jeremy Payne. So now it's a 2nd and 9, and we're going to go over the middle, caught by McQuinn, who will set up a 3rd and 2. To try and keep this drive alive, Pendergrass is checked into the game. We give it to him, and he will get the first down. That would give us a new set of downs at about the 13. Now a couple plays later, it's a 3rd and 7. Hoover will drop back. We'll throw it underneath. That one's going to be caught by James, who cuts up field and gets the first down, forced out of the 2. I tried to hurdle that guy, but it did not work. But it does set up a 1st and goal, which will be a handoff to Payne, who will cut back to the other side and walk into the end zone. Following that drive, our defense once again gets us the ball back in decent field position. We are still up by 10. Looking to pass on this play. Rolling to the outside. We'll let this one go. That's going to go to McQuinn downfield, who will be caught at about the 30. Now we come out in a pistol set. Hoover will take the snap, run the play action, and we'll fire this over the middle, and that is a drop because that animation kicked in. That is absolutely awful. Sometimes if the receiver would still hold on to it, I feel like that animation wouldn't be that bad. But since every single time the receiver drops it, I feel like that's why a lot of people hate it. That and it doesn't look like a great animation. It may be good if it only kicked in sometimes, but I feel like it kicks in all the time. But on the next play, we'll give it to Jeremy Payne, who will pick up a few yards. That will officially set up a 3rd and 6 for TCU. Hoover will drop back to pass. And we're going to fire this one downfield for Coleman, and this is going to get underthrown and intercepted. And now he may be able to break this down the sideline. Will we catch him? Hoover may have a chance, but we're going to see if Coleman can get him from behind, and he finally will. If the defense doesn't keep the shutout, I do not blame them. Just an absolutely stupid read by me to try to force that all the way to the other side of the field. We come back out of the 25-yard line. It's now 10-7, and it's a screen to Jeremy Payne that's going to lose 4. That'll set up a 2nd and 14. Back in a shotgun set, we'll take the snap, roll it to the outside. Someone please go downfield. We finally get someone to go, and he underthrows it. To try and keep this drive alive and avoid the 3 and out, Hoover will drop back. We're going to go to Coleman downfield, who will make the catch for the first down. On the very next play, we're going to give it to Payne, who will go up the middle and end up with a solid 8-yard run. That now brings up a 2nd and 2. We'll drop back to pass, and we're going to go to Coleman downfield, who will make the catch inside the 30, brought down to the 25. Now a 1st and 10 out of a 5-wide set. We're going to go to Pimpton over the middle, who will make the catch down to the 12. How about a pistol set now for the Horned Frogs? We'll take the snap. It'll be a draw play. Handoff to Payne. That is going nowhere. That'll bring up a 2nd and 10 from the 12. We'll drop back to pass. Trying to roll to the outside, maybe buy some time or find somebody open. We'll finally let it go to the corner, and he just misses McQuinn. So now a 3rd and 10 out of a shotgun set. We'll throw this one underneath. That's caught by Coleman, who will set up a 1st and goal. And yeah, okay, I thought they may rule him into the end zone, but it will be a 1st and goal for us. And we're just going to come out in a shotgun set and try to get Jeremy Payne his 2nd touchdown on the day. With about 5 minutes to go in the first half, we give it to Payne, who will get into the end zone. Touchdown TCU. And as we get the ball back, we still have a 10-point lead here, up 17-7. We start at our own 31-yard line, and it will be a screen to the outside for Payne. He has blockers in front of him and will end up getting about a 9-yard play. Coming back out in a shotgun set, it will be a play fake. And we're going to go to Coleman, who's wide open downfield and makes the catch all the way down to the 23-yard line. The next play would be an incomplete ball to Braylon James. So now it's a 2nd and 10. We'll come out and we're going to throw this jump ball to McQuinn in the back of the end zone, and it will fall incomplete. And if anyone else was open on that play, I apologize. I read that way before the ball was even snapped. I knew where I was going. But we're going to throw this downfield, caught by Everhart, and it will not result in a first down, which means a 37-yard field goal is coming up, and our freshman kicker gets to put his perfect season on the line. If I'm wrong, it's not a perfect season anymore, I apologize, but this kick is away, and it's good. And because it's just the way this game seems to operate, they do score right before halftime. We get the ball back with 23 seconds to go in the first half. We're going to start by throwing it underneath, caught by Jeremy Payne, who is going to have about a 9 or a 10-yard play, and we'll burn our first time out. We'll come out in shotgun, and we're going to send Coleman deep downfield, and I wanted to go there, but underthrown is going to get intercepted because we got hit as we were throwing. So, of course, that means that ball is going to fly right to a defender. And the next time we step on the field, we are in the 3rd quarter. It's still a 20-14 ball game, and Jeremy Payne is only getting a yard, and now they have an injury. Here we go, facing a 2nd and 9 from the 44. We'll take the snap and try to get rid of this one, but it's going to fall incomplete. I'm not going to lie, with how fast the pocket is collapsing today, it does concern me for better opponents later in the season. But on a 3rd and 9, we'll drop back and we'll throw this one underneath. That's caught by McQuinn, who will have to spin on a defender, and it sets up a 4th and 1. But I'll tell you right now, we're going for it. Mainly because we don't coach like cowards. 4th and 1, hand off to Pendergrass up the middle, and we'll convert easily. Unfortunately, it does appear our backup tight end got injured on that play, who was in fact our starting fullback. So now our backup fullback's in the game. And it's going to be a screen to the outside that we pick up a couple yards. Off a 2nd and 8 with a 5-wide set, rolling to the outside. And we're going to throw this one underneath. That's caught by Braylon James, who will have the first down. And now just a couple run plays later, it's a 3rd and 6. Hoover will drop back to pass, firing downfield, caught by Pimpton, and our drive will continue. An incomplete pass on the next play brings up a 2nd and 10. It's going to be an RPO to the outside, caught by Small, who will break that tackle, keep going, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown TCU. But our offense will stay on the field because we are going to go for it here. Take the snap and throw this one to Coleman in the end zone, who will make the catch, and we go up by 14. We get to start our next drive still here in the 3rd quarter from about our own 8-yard line, and Payne's only going to get nothing. I was pretty confident they were at least going to give him a yard there, but I guess not. 2nd and 10 out of a shotgun set. We'll throw this one downfield, and that is caught by Coleman, who breaks a couple tackles and sets up a 3rd and 7. We'll come back in shotgun again. Take the snap, looking to go downfield. We're going to have a man open, but he misses our receiver. I think it was Braylon James, and he just overthrew him. As we come back out now in the 4th quarter, it's 28-17, so they would get a field goal out of that drive, and Payne's going to start this drive with a 1-yard carry, which is obviously going to set up a 2nd and 9 as we come out of shotgun. We're going to go downfield for Pimpton, who will make the catch into Kansas State territory. Just a couple plays later, and we're staring at a 3rd and 5 from the Kansas State 38-yard line. It will be a toss play as Coleman goes to the outside, does not find the space, and is brought down to 39. This would be a pretty long field goal. Let's find out exactly how long of a field goal we'd be looking at. 56 yards. You know what? We're going to try that. What is the point in a perfect season if you don't actually attempt some long field goals? So we're actually going to line up and try for this. And I think I may have the accuracy. The kick is away. It's going to be lower left if it's good, and it is good. And now we get to come back out with a 14-point lead because the defense would stop them at our own 28-yard line. Hand off to Jeremy Payne, and we're going to start this drive with a 9-yard carry. Now a 2nd and 1. We're going to go right back to our running back this time, and he goes up the middle to pick up the first down. Obviously, we are trying to chew away the clock. A couple run plays later, it's a 3rd and 4 with about 5 minutes to go. We'll take the snap, and it will be an RPO that we give to Pendergrass, but he won't have the first down. It's a 4th and 4, and we will punt this one away. But ultimately, I don't believe that punt is going to matter. We get the ball back. 51 seconds to go right now. It's a 3rd and 4. We're still up by 14. A first down officially ends this game, but we're not going to get it. So we will punt it away, but yeah, I'm pretty sure this game's over. Which obviously sets up your final score of 31-17. We improved to 4-0 on the year. Not the best day from our offense, if I'm being completely honest. I did not play very well at the quarterback position. We threw a couple interceptions, but Jeremy Payne found the end zone a couple times. And this was honestly the first team that even got close to shutting down Malachi Coleman. Just to take a look at the final stats of this game, Hoover goes 27 of 43 for 304 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. On the ground, Payne got 82 yards and 2 scores, and then receiving, Coleman, never mind. I thought they kind of shut him down. I was completely wrong. 9 for 126. But the only one to catch a touchdown today was Ed Small, who caught a 15-yard touchdown on an RPO. Following that game, though, we at least get one commitment. That is from right tackle Enrique Ade out of Lubbock, Texas. Hold on, we have another one. It is defensive tackle Elton Zott. Yeah, I'm going to say Zott out of Manor, Texas, and that is going to be the only ones committed right now, but we don't lose anybody. But now we move on to our next game, which is a rivalry matchup and a rematch of last year's Big 12 championship game as we take on the Texas Tech Red Raiders in Lubbock. And we end up with the ball first at our own 29-yard line with an RPO, and Jeremy Payne is maybe going to get a yard out of that. That's going to set up a 2nd and 9. We'll come out in a shotgun set and look to pass. We're going to go to McQuinn, and that's getting intercepted. I don't know what I was trying. I was trying to force it past the defensive back or linebacker, whatever that is, and ended up throwing right to him. But despite that field position, it is still a 0-0 game next time we come out, so our defense at least came to play today. We're going to roll out to the outside, throw on the run, caught by Coleman, and Coleman up the sideline will try to make some people miss, brought down to the 25. That's all I have to do is trust the best receiver on the field for us. 1st and 10. Out of a shotgun set, we hand off to Jeremy Payne, and that's going to be a gain of 2. Now we face a 2nd and 8. Hoover will take the snap and look to pass. Rolling to the outside. We'll get rid of this one downfield, caught by Pimpton. That's going to set up a 3rd and 3 for TCU now. Once again, back in his shotgun set, we'll take the snap, and we're going to go to Coleman downfield, but it's a too high of a ball, and he can't come down with that one. But the defensive back that made that difficult was injured on the play. But now we get to try to kick a field goal. And honestly, this may be the end of his perfect season. I will try my best, though. Jamie Battle comes out. Snap, hole kick is away and right down the middle. But following that, Texas Tech will get a field goal of their own. So it is 3-3 next time we come out. And we're going to start with a screen pass to Jeremy Payne on the outside, who is going to use some blockers to get the first down all the way to the 42. Off the next play, we would hand it to Jeremy Payne, and that's going to be another interception on a 2nd and 7. That is the 2nd time that linebacker has managed to pick off a pass from us. We come out, it's 10-3. We are now down by 7. We're going to stick to some underneath throws for a minute. Unless one just comes completely wide open downfield, that's really my game plan. But I can't miss this. It's caught by Coleman, and he is gone. We come right back. But so does Texas Tech, making it 10-17. We're once again down by 7. We'll come out with a handoff to Jeremy Payne and start this drive with a 7-yard carry. We are going right back to our running back on this play. 2nd and 3 from the 32, and the blocking holds up for just long enough as we get the first down. From the 37-yard line now, Hoover out of a shotgun set will take the snap. And we're going to go downfield again for Coleman, who makes the catch, cuts upfield, and Malachi Coleman is gone. However, our defense apparently wants to just be in a shootout today as they have allowed another touchdown. We're once again down by 7. We'll come out and throw this one downfield, caught by James for a gain of 8. And unfortunately on that play, Rasheed Jackson, our starting left tackle, was injured. On the next play, we'll go to Jeremy Payne, who has a wide open lane up the middle, jukes to the outside, and Jeremy Payne could be gone. We're going to tie this game up yet again. And we now head into the 3rd quarter. It is still 24-24. Texas Tech would get the ball to start this half, but obviously could not do anything with it, and we'll start this drive with a 5-yard carry. That's going to lead to a 2nd and 5 for us. Hoover out of shotgun. We're going to run the screen to the outside, caught by Jeremy Payne, who jukes to the outside. Now try to cut back in and get brought down to the 32. Out of a pistol set on the next play, we run the play action. And we're going to try to go to Malachi Coleman down the sideline, who makes the catch all the way down to the 13. With a 5-wide set now, Hoover will take the snap and look to pass. We're going to go to Pimpton over the middle, who's wide open into the end zone, and we have taken the lead. And we end up getting the ball back, still up by 7 here in the 3rd quarter. Starting at our own 30-yard line, it's a draw play. Handoff to Jeremy Payne, and Payne with a first down run that will put him over 100 yards today. The next play from the 44-yard line, we take the snap. We're going to run this RPO to the outside, and Coleman picks up that block. He has the first down and goes out of bounds, but that will put him over 200 yards receiving. With a 5-wide set again, we'll drop back to pass. We're going to go downfield for Pimpton, who makes the catch, and now he's gone again. Touchdown TCU. It may have been a very rough start for our quarterback, but I feel like we've kind of course corrected here. We're going to come out on our next drive, still up by 14, and pick up a first down on the first play of the drive to the 37. This next play, we're in an I formation. We're going to hand off to Pendergrass, who goes to the outside, and he's going to pick up an 8-yard play, but our fullback / backup tight end is injured. On a 2nd and 2, Jeremy Payne is checked back into the game, and we'll hand it to him as he bounces to the outside, breaks that tackle, has the first down, spins back towards the middle, and is brought down to the Texas Tech 46-yard line. We'll look to pass on the next play. And Coleman in a foot race deep downfield, and he got it. Touchdown TCU. And I kid you not, that play was called dagger, and that might be the dagger in this game. But obviously, we still have most of the fourth quarter now left to play as we come back out, but we're still up by 21 here. We're going to start with a handoff to Jeremy Payne, who is going to end up with a gain of about 6 yards. That is now going to set up a 2nd and 4 for us. We take the snap. It's a draw play. Payne goes up the middle and picks up the first down. The next play we jump in on will be a 2nd and 7. From the 36, it's a screen to the outside. That is not going to pan out. A 3rd and 12 is coming up. And we will be looking to pass on this play, so Hoover will drop back. We're going to throw it underneath. That's caught by McQuinn, who will race to the marker and get the first down. They were a little too worried about us throwing the ball deep on them. On the next play, we'll hand off to Payne, who goes up the middle and picks up another first down for TCU. Under 7 minutes to play at this point. We are obviously just chewing the clock. Hand off to Jeremy Payne, who goes up the middle, and we'll get all the way down to the 25-yard line, up to 157 rushing yards. We are officially under 5 minutes to play in the game, but it is a 3rd and 7 for us. We'll take the snap. It's an RPO. Payne's going to be hitting the backfield, and we will settle for a field goal try. But this field goal is going to make it a 24-point game with about 4 minutes to go. So I think you guys can do the math. As long as we make this kick, it is away, and it is good. And that will set up your final score of 48-24. We would get the ball back one more time, but I would mass sub in all the backups and just run down the clock. Yeah, Malachi Coleman, you absolutely went off. 7 catches, 257 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That was an insane performance from him. Like I said, our quarterback may have gotten off to a rough start, but I would say he finished the day pretty well. He only had 1 pass hit the ground today because only 3 incomplete passes, but 2 interceptions. He goes for 376 yards and 5 passing touchdowns, and then on the ground, Jeremy Payne runs for 157 and a score. And receiving, yeah, we already know Malachi Coleman is probably going to be a Heisman favorite at some point this year if he's not already. I may check that before our next game. But Kamorion Pimpton also caught 2 touchdowns today. We cannot forget that. He was pretty solid for us as well. And here we go. We have a few new commitments, starting with wide receiver Bill Dingle out of Houston, Texas. We're going to have another one as well. Right tackle Eugene Parquette out of Austin, Texas. We have a 3rd one in Leon Pettigrew, an outside linebacker out of Magnolia, Texas. You can tell I definitely recruit Texas pretty hard. I'm not going to lie to you. A 4th guy coming in Ahmad Conrad out of Abernathy, Texas. Sure, I think I said that right. All right, we just have a ton of guys coming in. Center Rashad Riles out of Denton, Texas. Do we lose anyone? No, we don't. So we pick up 5 commits, and no one else commits to another school. Most likely not a shock to any of you, but Malachi Coleman is officially on the Heisman watch list. I had checked before the episode, and he was not up there yet. But with his season so far, he definitely deserves to be there. He's already at 950 yards receiving and 8 touchdowns. He has been amazing for us. But now it is officially time to get into our next game of the episode as we take on the 3-2 West Virginia Mountaineers back in Ammon G. Carter. We get the ball first today, but it will be a rainy game, so we'll see how much that affects our game plan here. We're going to come out with an RPO to Jeremy Payne up the middle and end up with a 5-yard carry. We now face a 2nd and 5 from the 29. We'll take the snap, run the play action. And why did I try to force that downfield? It's going to fall incomplete, though. Thankfully, it does not get intercepted. Well, that will lead to a 5-wide set here on 3rd and 5 as we drop back. We're going to launch this downfield for Major Everhart, who's in a foot race and can't come down with it. Got his hands on it, but ultimately falls incomplete. But following a punt, our defense would get us the ball back. We start at our own 13-yard line on our next drive. It's still 0-0. And we're starting this with a screen to Jeremy Payne to the outside, who picks up a nice couple blocks. And Payne might be gone inside the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown TCU. We come out to start our next drive at the 43-yard line, still up 7-0. And Dawson Pendergrass will get nothing on that play to bring up a 2nd and 10. Still at the 43-yard line, we'll drop back to pass. Under pressure, got rid of it, but it's going to fall incomplete to bring up the 3rd and 10. Will we avoid the 3-and-out? Hoover will take the snap. Dropping back to pass. We're going to go deep downfield for Braylon James, who will not make the catch because it got overthrown, and we'll punt it away. But on the first play of West Virginia's drive following the punt, they would get picked off. So we started the 18-yard line with a handoff to Jeremy Payne, who goes to the outside and gets into the end zone for a 2nd touchdown on the day. On our very next drive, we are still in the first quarter here. We're at the 48-yard line and trying to avoid a 3-and-out on 3rd and 8. We'll drop back, and we're going to go to Coleman over the middle, who will make the catch and end up all the way down to the West Virginia 26-yard line. Back in his shotgun set again, Hoover will take the snap and hand off to Jeremy Payne, who goes to the outside and ends up with an 8-yard carry. That will set up a 2nd and 2 for us. Hoover takes the snap. We're going to fire this to McQuinn, who makes the easy catch for the 1st down, breaks that tackle, and is brought down to the 14. On the next play, we would get a 2-yard carry from Jeremy Payne, but West Virginia would have an injury. That is why the clock has stopped. But now on 2nd down, we'll throw this one underneath. That's caught by Coleman, who cuts upfield, and we'll get to about the 6-yard line. But Jeremy Payne is injured on the play, which is very unfortunate because he was having a pretty good day. 3rd and 1 from the 6. We'll take the snap, and it'll be RPO to the outside. A wide-open Pimpton will walk into the end zone. The West Virginia offense is not sustaining drives at all. We get the ball back still in the first quarter. We're up 21-0. Jeremy Payne is back in the game. I didn't even get an option if I want to put him back in, but he's back in, and we'll take a 9-yard screen. Now it looks like Dawson Pendergrass is in the game. On a 2nd and 1, we'll give it to Pendergrass, who will fight off that man, have the 1st down, and fight his way to about the 45. Hoover back in a 5-wide set. We'll take the snap and looks to pass. We're going to fire this to Coleman over the middle, who will make the catch all the way down to the 33. Back in his shotgun set on the very next play. Rolling to the outside. Get rid of this one, and that's going to fall incomplete. With just 10 seconds to go here in the first quarter, we take the snap. Roll it to the outside. We're going to fire this one to Coleman, and he's going to miss him despite the fact he was pretty open. This should end up being the final play of the first quarter. On 3rd and 10, we'll drop back to pass. And looking to go downfield. Try to get rid of this one. It's going to fall incomplete, and we will settle for a field goal try once we get into the second quarter. This will be about a 50-yard field goal try. I think we did good here. It lines up, and the kick should be good. But once again, the defense would hold them to 0 points, so we're still up by 24 here in the second quarter on a 3rd down, trying to avoid the 3-and-out, and we'll take that throw over the middle, caught by Small, and it will not be a 1st down, so we will punt this one away. We come back out for our next drive, starting at the 7-yard line, hand off to Dawson Pendergrass, who will have the 1st down, juke to the outside, and get brought down to 19. On the very next play, we got a 5-yard carry from Pendergrass, so now it's a 2nd and 5, and we're looking to pass. We're going to go deep downfield for Coleman, who will make the grab up the sideline, brought down to the 35. And I am relatively certain, unless he passed it earlier and I wasn't paying attention, I believe that's going to put Malachi Coleman over 1,000 receiving yards on the season. On the next play, we give it to Pendergrass to go to the outside, and he gets another 1st down. It now looks like backup running back Nate Palmer is checked into the game. We'll take the snap and looks to pass. We're going to throw this one downfield to our tight end, and he will not make the catch. That one was a pretty dumb pass that probably could have been intercepted, but now on 2nd down, we'll take the snap, give it to Pendergrass, who goes to the outside, and he'll end up with a 6-yard carry to bring up a 3rd and 4. From about the 19-yard line, Hoover back in shotgun. We'll take the snap, and a quick throw over the middle will be caught by Coleman, who will get into the end zone. Touchdown TCU. I have a feeling we're going to see backups in this game. We come out at still 31-0. We'll start with a handoff to Pendergrass, who will pick up a gain of 7 to make it a 2nd and 3. And it will be a shotgun set for TCU, rolling to the outside, waiting for someone to come open. And we'll finally let this one go to Braylon James downfield, who will make the catch inside the 20-yard line. Right before the 2-minute timeout, we are going to snap this ball. It'll be a screen to the outside, caught by Pendergrass. And that block just doesn't get picked up, but he trucks over a man and gets brought down to the 8-yard line to bring up a 2nd and 2. Being completely honest, we probably won't see much more of Jeremy Payne today due to wear and tear and the injury. But now on 2nd and 2, we give it to Pendergrass up the middle, and he'll set up a 1st and goal at about the 2. Now it's going to be a shotgun formation. We'll take the snap. It's a read option, and Pendergrass gets flipped and brought down to the 1-yard line. I thought I could hurdle over that man, and yeah, just kind of got launched in the air there. But how about we try this RPO? Now, it should be this slant route, but I'm not really great at reading those, so we'll see what happens. We're just going to run the ball with Pendergrass, who gets into the end zone. Yeah, starters are not going to be in this game much longer. We now go into the second half. It's still 38-0. They would get the ball to start the half and not get anything, but we're going to start with a loss of 2 on that run. I want to see how well this halfback screen actually works. It's a quick throw to the outside that could very easily turn into a pick 6, and it's a loss of 4 this time. So that will now set up a 3rd and 16 for TCU. We drop back, and we're going to go to Coleman downfield, but he overthrows him. Well, it won't be a shutout today as West Virginia has finally gotten on the board with a field goal. It's 38-3 as we come back out, and we're going to throw this one to the outside, caught by Coleman, who goes out of bounds for a 4-yard play. That is now going to bring up a 2nd and 6 for TCU. We'll come out and give this one to Pendergrass, who goes to the outside. And we'll cut upfield for the first down. Dawson Pendergrass is now off to the races, but does not have a lot of speed. We'll stiff arm that man and get forced out of the 29-yard line, but that run does put him over 100 yards today. 1st and 10, back in a shotgun set again. Whoever will take the snap. A quick throw to the outside, caught by McQuinn for the 9-yard gain. I thought it was going to be a first down. How about a draw play on the next one? Hand off to Pendergrass to go up the middle for the quick and easy first down to about the 16-yard line. Out of a shotgun set, Hoover will look to pass. We're going to fire this downfield for McQuinn, who has to make a diving catch, but cannot come down with it. That would have been absolutely beautiful. Not a touchdown, but still would have been nice. 2nd and 10. Draw back to pass. Dance to the outside a little bit, and we're just going to take off with Hoover. The blocking picks up, and I really don't need to try to truck people with my quarterback, but we pick up the first down to set up a 1st and goal at about the 3. We'll see if we can get a quick passing touchdown here, going over the middle, and a quick touchdown to McQuinn. We'll go up 45-3, and I'm probably pulling the offensive starters. We have already seen freshman quarterback Jalen Horn at one point this season, but I decided to sub him in again just because I want to use him just a bit more. And we're going to start with an RPO, hand off to Nate Palmer, who's going to pick up an 8-yard carry. We now face a 2nd and 2. He'll take the snap. And we're just going to try to take off with him. He goes up the middle. We'll bounce it to the outside, and he will fight all the way to the 37. See what he can do in the very next play. Out of a shotgun set, we'll run the play action. And we're going to see what kind of arm he has as he's going deep and has Major Everhart, who is gone. Touchdown TCU. I know we have a really, really good team this season with Josh Hoover, but it's going to be a lot of fun to use him in the coming seasons because I'm pretty sure I've already decided he's most likely going to be our starting quarterback next season. We do have another true freshman, though, so we may put him in at some point this year, but Horn just has so much throw power and can still run. Now on a 2nd and 7, we'll go to Palmer on the outside, and he stiff arms that man, and we'll end up with a gain of a couple yards. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 6. We'll drop back and look to pass. We'll throw this one underneath. It's a high ball caught by Small, but it will be a first down for TCU. After we ran the ball one time, it's now a 2nd and 7. We go back to Palmer to the outside, and Palmer cuts upfield. He's going to have the first down all the way down to the 28-yard line. It is always nice to see when your backups can still play really well. On the next play, it'll be a play action. Horn looking to pass. We're going to fire this downfield. It's kind of underthrown, but he finds Small anyway for another first down. Just a couple plays later, it's now a 3rd and 3 from about the 9-yard line. We're going to take this option, and I tried to pitch that. It doesn't work, and West Virginia is going to recover it. I really don't care. It's a 49-point game. Make that a 46-point game because against our backup defense, they managed to score a field goal to make it 52-6. Following that turnover, we're just going to take off with the Horn here and pick up the first down. I wanted to slide, but he broke that tackle and gets brought down to the 39. On the next play, we'll go to Palmer, who will try to make people miss. He jukes to the outside, and now Nate Palmer off to the races. Will he be caught inside the 15, 10, 5, touchdown TCU. And just complete and total domination in this game. Final score of 59-6. Josh Hoover did play pretty well, but I believe we had 2 running backs go over 100 yards because we got the ball back one more time after this big touchdown. And just trying to chew the clock, I ran another decent run with Palmer, but I wasn't commentating it or anything. But I believe it put him over 100 yards rushing. The final stats in this one, Hoover goes 16 of 27 for 280 and 4 scores, but Jalen Horn went 3 of 3 for 82 yards and a touchdown. And then running the ball, Pendergrass 122 yards and a score, Palmer got 126 and a score, and Jeremy Payne got 35 and a score, along with having a big receiving touchdown, I believe. 2 catches, 96 yards and a score. McQuinn also got a touchdown, and once again, Malachi Coleman came up big, 6 for 114 and a score. And then also Penton and Everhart came away with touchdowns. Following this game, we do get a few new commitments, like 5-star defensive back Lyle Landry out of Katy, Texas. This guy was the #1 player on my board, I believe. I am really excited that we got him. But who else did we get? A 4-star right guard and Santiago Almas out of Weatherford, Texas. We have a third person, another right guard, and Eric Reynoso out of Port Next, Texas. Probably said that one wrong. And then outside linebacker, Jason Garrett. I have never noticed what that guy's full name was, so I guess we have the former Dallas Cowboys head coach now playing outside linebacker. Oh, we have another one that we just got. I thought that would be it. We get 4-star quarterback Kerry Lattimore out of Dallas. This guy actually has some really solid ratings, but obviously you guys just saw Jalen Horn. I don't know how much playing time he's going to get early on, but we will see whenever he gets here. Now, you see the top 25 as we head into the next week here. We are staying at number 8, despite the fact there are a couple one-loss teams above us, but they are in better conferences, just to be completely honest. And then conference standings right now, we are alone at the top. We are the only completely undefeated Big 12 team left, but Arizona State is still undefeated in Big 12 play. So right now, that looks like who will be facing in the Big 12 championship, but there is still a lot of season left to play. And in the next episode, we will pick up here in week 8 as we take on the Arizona Wildcats.